All right, so here's the list we made for the 6th Summer 2024 event. These are just things that I haven't got to do to the car. There's a few things here that I never got to do, and there's a few things I got to redo, take care of, fix. Pretty minor stuff, I think, for the most part. Should go relatively easy. I got just a few things to do to the truck, and then the trailer needs a few odds and ends done to it. But really, none of that stuff there for the trailer has to be done, except for the battery kill switch. That thing acts up sometimes. That has to be done. Other than that, we'll get started. What we're going to start with today is Sean is going to take care of the seat belts and putting the window net back in, and I'm going to start pulling the blower off to improve the blower bracket again. All right, so Sean's in there. He's replacing the safety harnesses. I don't know, it's a little dark in there, you can't really see him, but he's unbolting the shoulder straps right now. He's going to take everything out, swap them out, and put the new one on the driver's side. The reason we're swapping the two belts out is because RJS decided to change the logo on the belts. They had the blue and red. Those are the older ones. These are 2001 when these expired. And the newer ones over there, you can see, are the red and black logo. So I sent my belts in this winter to be recertified, and thinking that I would send the older belt in, it was the red and blue logo. Well, I got back the red and black logo, so basically I'm in the same boat. So we gotta switch them out. I know it's a minor thing, but I don't like seeing two different seat belts in there. So I'm gonna get started over here. We're gonna take the blower off. What keeps happening is now that I've got this extra heavy bracket on the front with the cog belt, it's actually ripping the threads out of the front of the cylinder head. You can't really see down in there, the light kind of sucks. But as I get things moved out of the way, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. The bracket I'm gonna make is gonna cover more surface area. It's gonna use the 5th hole or 4th hole, and then I'll use some short studs, and just the whole bracket will be different. It's gonna be made out of steel. It's gonna be heavier, but I think it's gonna work better overall. Where are you at? What'd you get to?
So I just got to take the last part out of the seat belt here, and then going over to the other side, putting this one back on that side, and then put the new belts on back onto this seat.
All right, so you're gonna have it all safe, nice and tight?
Yep.
Good. All right, get it done. All right, so I finally got the blower unbolted, and I had some trouble getting one of the bolts out. Obviously, there's something wrong in here. So I'll lift this out. You can see, if you zoom in there on that one hole, that was a helicoil in there. And that helicoil came out with the bolt that was pretty well screwed up. Actually, instead of damaging the helicoil itself, it ended up just ripping the whole piece of aluminum out of the head. So now I'm going to have to see if I can get an insert that can go in there and replace what aluminum used to be there, because obviously we can't have that missing a hole. And we're going to try something a little different. We're going to make a plate wraps around the entire front of this head. It's going to utilize the 4 bolt holes. And then there's a bolt hole here and here that would be normally used for the air conditioning bracket. So I'm going to make something that wraps completely around, and it's going to tie in this area here to this bracket so that it can't pull. The problem we have is when that belt is pulling, it's got such a cantilever all the way out here. When that belt is pulling on the blower, it's trying to rip it off the cylinder head. So it's never damaged these bolts. It's always damaged the outside bolt hole because it's pulling this way. So if I reinforce it by putting a brace across here, that should give it the strength it needs to at least not try to peel it off the head. Plus, we're going to put studs instead of bolts at this point, rebuild the bracket, and then the blower itself will have shorter bolts that actually hold it to the bracket. That's going to be my final attempt with this thing. I think it should work pretty good. We're going to change a few things around with the pulleys to put a little bit shorter belt on, and hopefully everything will stay together.
I stopped and took a break from taking apart the belts, but I'm back out here now, and I got the old belts from that seat switched onto here, which this could have been avoided, but they had to swap the design of the belt, which is stupid in my opinion, but had to be done. So I got these belts onto this seat, so now I'm moving on to that seat. We got the new harness in on the driver's side. Pretty basic, just bolted to the bolts in the back of the chair. New date for the belts, June of 2026.
They're good for 2 years, right?
Yeah, the harnesses have to be replaced every 2 years on the driver's side.
Or recertified. We had these recertified, but it looks like they put all new webbing, new stickers, new labels, new everything on these. All the seat belts knocked out. We're going to go on to getting the window net put in here in a few minutes. And at least the interior will be pretty much done. We'll just have to clean it, vacuum it, and then we'll move on to bigger and better stuff. All right, so we're finally at the point of putting the new window net in. As you can see here, this was expired December of 23. It's now April of 2024. And we've got the brand new net here. And that is good until June of 26. You get 2 years out of your window nets. You get 2 years out of your safety harnesses. You get 3 years out of the roll cage certification. So just a few things to keep in mind if you want to make it to the track and be able to have a fun day.
Got the window net in, and thank God my dad took that off my hands, because this was a major hassle. It was insanely hard to get in because it just was not fitting in there correctly. Up here it was all messed up. This was just not clipping correctly, so it took a lot longer than needed, but we got it done. So we just drilled all the holes into the bracket that we made. And we're seeing if all the holes actually line up on our first go here.
There's two. There's our stripped one. And there's all 4 holes in the first shot. So they're 3/8 holes. I always go a little bit larger. Went to a 25/64. That way everything falls in place. Now obviously this is a crude mock-up of this thing, right? Looks like dog shit, really. It's just a square plate. I would never leave it like this. Obviously it's got to be trimmed here. It's hitting the valve cover. But we're going to trim it down, make it look nice here. We got to do a little trimming out here, and then we're going to continue to build our outer gusset that's going to bolt to the air conditioning bracket holes that are factory installed in these heads. So that'll just shoot straight across, and it'll get a little angle. It's going to come down in here and stabilize the entire thing. So we got a bunch of stuff accomplished today. We figured some things out. The blower bracket, that's going to work pretty well, I think. It's made out of 3/8 solid steel. I'm going to be making a couple additional pieces tomorrow for it. So hopefully by the end of the day tomorrow, we'll have that thing all buttoned up, welded together, ready to bolt the blower back onto the bracket before I powder coat that bracket and get it on there for good. Sean really did a great job today with the seat belts. He's got everything swapped over. The brand new seat belts are in on the driver's side. Everything's nice and tight. Looks great. We even got the window net in the driver's side there. That's all put back together. And I modified a few things there because the lower mount that I had made a couple years ago in a rush for the window bracket or the window net just looked like crap, and it wasn't functional. Every time I tried to put it on the track, it always bound up. I had somebody help me. So I made it so it's a one-person deal, and tightened a few things up, changed some nuts, bolts, fasteners, put a few bends in some things, and I think that's going to work out great this year. So until next time,